As we had left off, we want the final step, which is the numbers. So I don't want area of the polygon listed, I just want the value itself like I changed here. So what I do is I double tap on the value, I get rid of the unnecessary things, I only want the number, so that is what I wanted. Now I press OK. I do that for the last one. I don't want all of those letters, I just want the number, so I go ahead and get rid of those. Now to do my last text box, we click right underneath and I choose a squared, add the value for b squared, and it's going to be equal to the value for c squared. I am going to change those numbers into a medium or a large. There we go. Okay, so now it changes dynamically. So as the numbers change on the squares, they also change on our equation. So that is a construction of the Pythagorean Theorem. Have a great day. We are going to construct the Pythagorean Theorem. To start off, we need 2 points to make a semicircle. So we select both. And from the theorem of Thales, we can remember that if we put a random point on the semicircle, no matter where you move it, it will be a right triangle when we connect all 3 points. So let's go ahead and connect all 3 points as so. And just to make sure that it is a right triangle, let's go ahead and label the triangles. Okay, so as we can see, it is a 90-degree triangle. Let's go ahead and get rid of the semicircle, so we don't need that anymore. Okay, so now let's go ahead and construct the squares. So to construct the squares, we need to make a perpendicular line reaching from the segment to an endpoint and from the segment to another endpoint. We will be using those endpoints as a radius for a circle. So you can choose either way, from C to B or from B to C. It will be the same circle. And we make an intersection of the circle with the line. So we have our intersection right here. And from there, we will be making a perpendicular line from that point to that segment that it crosses with. So now we label the last intersection as so, and now we get rid of all of the lines. So we will be repeating this process 3 times, and that is because we need 3 squares. So let me go ahead and get rid of the lines, as so, and now we make our polygon. So we have this square right here, and we finish it off. Now we go ahead and move on to a next side. So let's go ahead and get our perpendicular line from the segment to the endpoint, from the segment to the other endpoint. We use that as a radius from point to point. Excuse that. So now let's go ahead and get our intersections. So we have our intersection right here. We're missing 1. So to get that, we get our point, select the line it crosses with, and it gets an intersection. We go ahead and label that, and we get rid of the lines. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make another polygon. I'm going to change it from color, just so it can look a little different. I'm going to select all 4 sides to make the square. And now our last side is going to be over here. Let me just scoot over a little bit. We draw our perpendicular line from the segment to an endpoint, and from the segment to the other endpoint. Again, we use it as a radius. Now we find the point of intersection where the circle meets the line. Now we get a perpendicular line from the point to the line it crossed with, get that last intersection, and we get rid of the lines again. So let me go ahead and get rid of the lines. And we connect the polygon. Now I'm going to change that from color again. Let me make that into a blue. Okay. Sorry, I apologize. My mouse is not working that well. Okay, here we go. And from there to there. Now we connect the last one. And back to the beginning. There we go. Okay, so now we have our 3 squares. Now let's go ahead and label. So, of course, the bigger square, which is in the hypotenuse, is going to be c squared. So let's go ahead and make that right here. Let me label it c squared. Okay, and you can choose either or to be a or b. So I'm going to choose this to be a square. I'm going to choose this to be b square. Okay, and we know that our theorem is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Okay, so it is as it is mentioned. Okay, so we have a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. It looks too small. Let me go ahead and make that into a large. Okay, so now let's see some numbers. So let's go ahead and get the areas for each. Now the theorem says that the area of both a and b squared combined should equal to the one of c squared. So let's go ahead and prove that. So let's get the area of this square, the area of b squared, and the area of c squared. Now let's go ahead and make our equation. But before we do our equation, let's get rid of some extra words that we have. So I only want the values. I don't want area of polygon whatever. So let me go ahead and just go to the object properties. Okay, so let me go ahead and go to that. Object properties, basic, style, algebra, advanced, scripting. Okay. Okay, so let me just go ahead and do the text. So I have the first area,